communication and the digital economy, His Excellency the Governor of Kakamega, FCPA Fernandez Baraza, the PS for State Department of ICT and Digital Economy, Engineer John Tanui, the PS State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications, PS State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications, and also the PS for Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala. The CEOs present, the elected leaders who are present, the partners who are present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mabwana, good morning. Good morning once again. Allow me to welcome you to this event and request that without much ado, we welcome the principal of Kakamega County Polytechnic to give her welcome remarks. Madam Caroline.
Our chief guest today, our host, the sitting governor, all invited guests from both national and county governments, all the partners, close to 10, present today, and the larger stakeholders, good morning. My name is Caroline Hamete Ambale. I am the principal Kakamega County Polytechnic. We want to say, as a family, as a community, we are so impressed by the gesture the Lord God Himself designed through the leadership of the national government and county governments to bring a team close to 10 partners to choose our vocational training centers to be among the beneficiaries of digital transformation that has really transformed the lives of many, both the youth and women. Today, I can tell you, the image that was there before the transformation and today, if put together, it's a total history. I'm not taking it for granted as the principal and a beneficiary to say it is a national event that God wanted it to be. Please feel most welcome and you are safe in our hands. Thank you. May I please welcome the CEC, Dr. Bob Fast Oko.
We are requesting our partners kindly, because they are all our youth. If you can also be 10, we shall be very happy. And finally, abantu Kakamega mlio? Tusalamie wageni kwa mkono juu. Salamieni wageni. Asanteni sana. Karibuni.
Thank you, Dr. Koth. Sir, with your permission, allow me to invite our Chief Manager at Konza Technopolis, Madam Josephine Dambuki, to give us the ice breaking as she sets the tone. Welcome, Josephine.
Your Excellency, Sir, our Prime Cabinet Secretary, Your Excellency, Sir, our Prime Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Dr. Margaret Nyambura, the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Information, Communication and the in the digital economy. Our PSs, PS Professor Kisiangani and PS Engineer John Tanui, all protocol observed. Good morning. My task is to set the tone for this convening this morning, and I will be very brief. I will start by saying that the world of work is changing, and this is evident because globally we are going through what we call the fourth industrial revolution that is characterized by, among others, a changing world of work. Now, these changes in the world of work transition and have been seen mostly from the days of COVID, where we are seeing an increasing transition to remote or hybrid working. We are also able to see that as we move to the next level of opportunities, including media, we see a complete shift in the dynamic, this new shift that is coming. And so today we are going to experience this new shift that is coming. And so today we are going to experience a lot of conversations that will speak to what can we all do, whether it's the private sector, the public sector, the development partners, coming together to create an ecosystem that then allows Kenya to play its rightful role in this changing shift that we are experiencing. And so I hope that as we engage with the different leaders, we are going to be able to appreciate and most importantly, assess ourselves. What does that mean for me as an individual? Am I among the 50% that needs to reskill, or am I the one that is reskilled already and ready for this changing world of work? And so, following on, through the ministry, we have digital hubs, quite a number of them. You can look at how many we have in Kakamega County, and it is our promise that for those who want to start their journey, that is the right place to go. The Tume hubs provide a space for learning and skilling to ensure you're ready to take a part in these changing dynamics. So thank you very much for that. And as we move on to the next step, I want to invite a panel of key stakeholders and key players to carry on this conversation forward as we discuss how this country is going to position for the future of work. Allow me to step aside. We will move the podium, and at the same time, I will invite the panelists to join in stage for a quick fire conversation on how the country is preparing to take advantage of the digital opportunity right before us. Thank you. Thank you. So I will invite the first panelist, Engineer John Tanui, who is the Principal Secretary, the State Department of ICT and Digital Economy in the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. Karibu sana. Please cheer them up as they come and we take your seats. Thank you. The second panelist is Professor Edward Kisiangani, CBS, the Principal Secretary, Broadcasting and Telecommunications. Let's give him a good round of applause. Thank you. The third panelist is Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, the Principal Secretary, Higher Education and Research. Welcome, Madam PS. The fourth panelist is Honorable Eddie Obwaka, the Chair of ICT Committee in the Kakamega County Assembly. Welcome. We then have my CEO, John Paul Okwiri, the CEO of Konza Technopolis. Welcome, CEO. And then I'm joined by Adam Lane, the Director of Public Affairs, Huawei Kenya. Adam, welcome. And lastly but not the least,
and also linking them up with the digital jobs. As the opening icebreaker indicated that we as a country or as Africans since COVID, we've been able to move our requirements into a knowledge-based environment, and also being able to work remotely. So as Konza Technopolis, through the G2 Digital Enablement Program, we've been able to provide the enabling environment for our young people to skill, upskill, and link them with digital job opportunities.
Thank you. I will then transition this to our PS, Engineer John Tanui. And at the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, the role is on policy. And I also appreciate that you've seen economies such as Singapore that have transitioned, and India from BPO to ITES. What will that take for Kenya? And what is the ministry doing to prepare the country for this transition?
Thank you very much. As the earlier presentation indicated, the emergence and the rise of the digital space or digital economy is a great opportunity for emerging countries like Kenya. And it is important that we align our policies and our programs to be able to tap the most out of this. One is we have clarity in terms of our thematic areas of digital superhighway and creative economy on how do we make sure no one is left behind in the country. And that's why we are talking about the 100,000 kilometers of additional fiber that we need to connect as a country. And so far we have done now about 14,000 kilometers of that 100,000. So we are on track. We are also ensuring that this connectivity is to look at all policies to unlock digital jobs, online jobs, remote jobs, and also to see that manufacture of electronics from devices, we will go to the next electronics that makes our communication work, all the route, and we think Kenya is on the right track to unlock all those possibilities. Lastly, one of the important things is also the investment climate. We want to make Kenya the destination for investment by technology companies. We are very proud to have companies like Huawei and many others who have their headquarters in Kenya, creating employment for our young people, exposing them to the global digital space, and also attracting digital investment. We've seen Amazon Web Services put their development center in Kenya. We've seen Microsoft expand their development software center in Kenya. They even closed one in another country and expanded the one in Kenya. So those are the kind of investment we want to see. We also have geothermal power in Kenya, clean energy that everyone looks up to. We are seeing with the growth of digital economy, there is something called data centers, which will be consuming up to 15% of the world energy. And we are very proud, Your Excellency, you are in Naivasha to launch the Green Data Center. That's one of the investment we want to attract to our country so that this ecosystem can create quality jobs for our young people. So those are the policies we are looking at. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, PS Engineer Tanui. And following closely on that, Madam PS Beatrice, what is the imperative for skilling? We've just seen that up to 50% of the global workforce needs to reskill. How is the country adapting its education system to create competitive workers that can take up any opportunities globally?
Thank you very much for that question. Skilling is very important because this is what helps us to convert the knowledge that we have into jobs. And through university education, we optimize what has been consolidated right from primary, secondary, and even the colleges. So we have some basic knowledge, but we know that any curriculum, the content that we learn, cannot be transformed effectively into skills if we don't stress on pedagogy. And pedagogy is the science and art of teaching and learning. I'll just use an example to make this clear. Because in this modern economy, what we need are 4 skills that cut across: ability to communicate, to think critically, to be creative, and to collaborate, because there's just so much you can do as an individual. So from everything that we learn, even if it is ICT, computer technology, everything, you must think, what opportunities are being created for you to develop those 4 generic skills that cut across all the subjects. If you are learning something like strategic leadership, a teacher can come to class and give you notes on strategic leadership and give you a card, what is strategic leadership, give 3 attributes, you'll give the 3 attributes, and 3 months later, if you are asked what are the 3 attributes of strategic leadership, you might have forgotten. So how does this relate to building skills? The way that you are taught. If a lecturer or a teacher can ask you to read some text on strategic leadership and then to talk about it, so that means you understand what you have read and you can then communicate freely about it. So that means you'll be creative and use good communication skills so that everybody understands. It gets even better if you are asked to develop a small video communicating to the audience about strategic leadership. So that student will be forced to read, to understand, and to communicate. And to create the video, you also look at the skills that they have built. Is the video flat? Is it interesting? How is the background? What else was brought into the video? So when you look at those 2 different ways of teaching and learning, the one is where you are told and you forget. The other is where you are involved in some activity that forces you to think critically, to create something, to communicate and to collaborate. Because to undertake that exercise, you must work with other people. So the world today involves opportunities that help us to combine critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. When you get those 4 together in whatever you are learning, then you can grow. Allow me, Madam, I know you're running out of time, to just say, for example, through this ICT hub, we are learning very foundational skills, how to create content, how to communicate content. Later, we shall learn how to design different programs. But as you grow in this field of ICT, think about specialization. If it's agriculture, how do you use the different tools you have learned here to modernize agriculture through, for example, precision agriculture? If it is medicine, how do you use the ICT tools you have learned here to use robotics in medicine? So this field is very wide. This is a foundation, but we have many opportunities to build on what you learn here in different fields. And together we shall march into the 4th industrial revolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam PS. Next, I want to pick up on your conversation about content and media to just invite our PS, Professor Edward Kisiangani, on the changing face of media and the opportunities that this creates. And as a country, how can we position ourselves and use this unique resource that is the youth of Kenya to leverage media for opportunities, for jobs, and for good?
Thank you very much, Madam Dambuki. First of all, before I come to that question on media, Your Excellency, I want to associate myself with what my colleague PSs have spoken. Sisi ni watu wa mkono wa rais, so when we are here, we are communicating what Rais wants us to do. So the first thing that we need to do to think about with regard to our presence here is to understand that this digitization agenda that we are talking about is not something that somebody thought about and just woke up and said, let's go and do this in Kakamega or another place. This is part of the president's agenda. When he was campaigning, he gave you 5 pillars and they moved to 6. One of them is MSME, small and medium enterprises. Another one was food and agriculture, food security. The other one was universal health care, and then housing and settlement, information superhighway, and the creative economic traveling. This is captured traveling. This is captured within the agriculture sector. Quite a lot of opportunities. Captured within the agriculture sector. Quite a lot of opportunities. And even when you go back to the housing agenda, if it's happening in other countries far from here. So it is the game changer that we are digitizing in order to empower our people to make things happen. When the president was campaigning, he talked about, especially in the area of agriculture, he says, we are not going to introduce anything new. We can ask people to grow their crops, but they just enhance the production. When they production, the next thing they will do is value addition. The digital platform provides an opportunity to do value addition to our food crops. And then you look for market. Markets also provide an opportunity for you to look for far-flung areas to get markets for your products, and then you make money and put money in the pocket. So that is why we are doing that kind of thing. This digital agenda is embedded in our agenda, the 5 pillars that the president campaigned on. So it's not something that we have just thought, and we have come to you people, our citizens, our distinguished citizens, to explain that we are not doing something that we just dreamt of last night. It's part of our agenda. The second thing that I want to talk about is about the fact that there were immediate things, because this is critical, Madam Dambuki. I am the chief communicator of government. The second thing that we talked about, the areas bringing down the cost of living and creating jobs, was one. These jobs are being created within the digital superhighway. So when we do that, if you check the priority areas, bring down the cost of living, foreign exchange, stabilization, and eliminating hunger, you will find that digitization plays a big role in that area. So a center like this one is going to skill the young people that come here, and they will use those skills to engage the rest of the world in all those areas that we have mentioned. Now coming to your the media situation. The traditional media was used to news as it was going to the market here at the road from Kisumu to Webuye. You stand there and look for a newspaper vendor to look for information. When we were growing up, a newspaper would come to us at midday the following day. Today a story is written, people comment on it the same second. So when you see it the following day, it is still news. What we have been asking the media to do is also to migrate and get jobs through content creation on the digital platforms where information flows very fast, and it's faster than the planes you see around and the vehicles you see around. Create those opportunities to engage our people. Content creation is one of them, and there are many other products with that kind of thing. Newspapers can put themselves in, media can put themselves, cut out a niche in agriculture sector, have experts who do research online to support the farming communities all over, including those in the health sector. I would go on and on, but because I don't have time, and my job is to say what the president expects me to do, I am communicating this so that we do not misinterpret the agenda of government and think this government is not doing everything that we want. Everything that this government is doing is what you wanted it to do, and it is doing it. Kenya is in the right hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, PS Kisiangani. Thank you very much. And so for the rest of my speakers, we request you now 2 minutes so that we can also give our audience a moment to comment. I will start with Adam Lin, that is Government Affairs Lead, Kenya Huawei. And strongly coming in from the private sector, the question is, how can technology companies help the country expedite its journey towards digital transformation with all the skills, all the expertise that a company such as Huawei brings?